This fragment has single-handedly clutched so many trials rounds for me, it's insane, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. Whisper of Chains gives you resistance whenever you're near friendly crystals. To be clear, it doesn't give you more health, but it actually reduces the incoming damage from your opponent by 25%. For example, a 120 RPM hand cannon that would normally see 90 crit only does 68 damage to the head when you're near a crystal. That's like going up against the old 150 archetype for damage, but they're still shooting as slow as a 120. Because of the fact that it works like this, it can do some pretty insane stuff when it comes to TTK, otherwise known as time to kill. The best part is that for this to be active, you only need to be within 15 meters of a crystal, and that's actually really forgiving in most situations. So if I know I need to clutch up as a Titan main, I can either throw down a nade behind me, on the side, or the wall. I can even slide to give myself some crystals and then take my fight around the corner, knowing that I've still got my resistance. When a warlock uses this thing while in a rift, getting their health back even faster, it's ridiculous. And a little bonus is that when Bungie was making this fragment, they decided to give it a plus 10 recovery stat to your build, meaning you could take discipline, intellect, or whatever it is that you like and bump that up an extra tier instead. After realizing how many fights I was winning with this, I decided to hop into a private match with some buddies of mine and checked a lot of the scenarios out. We didn't cover every single thing in the game because I'm not an expert like Mercules when it comes to these types of things, but we did look at a decent amount, so here's a table. Oh, and if you enjoy this type of stuff or learning about PvP tips in general, consider subscribing to catch more videos in the future. So the way this table works is I've basically got the weapon types on the left hand side. Orange is regular, and then blue is resistance. So that's when you're standing within 15 meters of a crystal. These are the archetypes and their RPMs just for some reference. And then I did all of my testing at 5 resilience. And the reason why is because that seems to be kind of the new minimum bar because of the way 120s are in the game right now. And let's be honest, it would destroy my soul if I did this at every level of resilience. So what I wanted to show you is, let's say we're using an aggressive SMG. So the rendition, for example. Normally in orange, the crit would show 22 on screen and body shot would show 16 on screen. But when someone is standing near crystals, it's only going to show 17s versus the 22, or 12s to the body instead of 16. The right hand side of this table is all about the hits or optimal time to kill. Usually 9 crits would kill your opponent at 5 resilience, but when they have resistance, it's actually going to take another 3 bullets. And then when you go down to something like, say, a 600 RPM, even though that's shooting slower, the way the math works out, it still ends up needing an extra 3 bullets. So instead of 8 crit 1 body, they have to hit 11 crit 1 body. So 3 bullets in this case means quite the additional bump in time to kill. So much so that, let's say you're using a hand cannon, you might actually have time to sneak in an extra shot, especially because these are optimal time to kills. Not everyone out there is going to hit 11 crits in one body. As soon as one of these crits becomes a body, you're adding more and more time to the time to kill in both scenarios. I'm not going to run through all of these because you can screenshot it and take a look for yourself, but I will point out a few notable ones. Like I wrote X and Y here, and that's the fact that a rapid fire pulse actually goes from 3 bursts to 4 bursts at the bottom here. That's a huge deal when you're up against a pulse rifle. Or let's take a look at some of the hand cannons. The 120 hand cannon is one of the very few examples where the total number of hits or bullets does not change from regular to against resistance, but suddenly they have to hit all 3 crits instead of 2 crits 1 body. Or Thorn with Soul Devour can't 2-tap you anymore. It needs 2 crit 1 body. How about Ace with Momentum Mori? It actually needs 3 crits, whereas usually it would only need 1 crit and 2 body because of that damage perk. Just before we get into the fun stuff now, I wanted to mention that if you're looking for people to play with, it's been amazing to see the Discord grow as fast as it is. I've seen a lot of friendships and LFGs get built from this. It's been really enjoyable to get to know everybody in there, and if that interests you, the link is down below in the description. Additionally, I tend to post on Twitter whenever I'm figuring things out, so if you're interested in that, my handle is down below as well. Now, I didn't include DMT in that original table because it's a little bit weird with Cranial Spike. So 2 examples are, instead of needing 2 crit 1 body under a regular circumstance, they would actually need 3 crits if you had your resistance. Or let's say they hit 1 crit and 3 body, for example, they would need a 4th body shot instead of 3, meaning they would need 5 total bullets if you were near a crystal. Special weapons were fun to test. For my fusion rifle users out there, I only covered high impact, like Glacioclasm, for example, and just remember, these things shoot 7, what even are these things? 7 space magic things at you. Normally they only need to hit 4 out of those 7, so if they're up close, it's pretty easy to do because the chances are they're not going to miss 3. But when someone tries to fusion you from further away, that's where they start to miss the odd one here and there. Up close, there's no difference here. It'll still be a one-hit kill even if you have your resistance from crystals nearby. But the thing to take note of is the fact that they have to land 6 out of the 7 instead of 4. So that really ups your odds of living as they're further away from you. For snipers, I looked at rapids, adaptive, and aggressive. The numbers are on screen for reference, and of course, precisions do so much damage that it's still a one-shot kill, except when you're in a super like Behemoth, so stick around for that part because we'll get there in a minute. The real juice comes with the infamous blinting or encooching, where you would body someone and then quick swap to finish them off. Normally, hitting someone with an adored in the body only needs one headshot from say a 140 or a 120 hand cannon to finish them off. If you have resistance though, they need to hit 2 crits of the 140. The kicker isn't even the fact that they both have to be headshots, it's the fact that they have to shoot twice, because normally you'll have dipped behind cover by then and it sort of defeats their whole concept. Even if they follow up with a 120 headshot, it still won't work. That one needs to be 1 crit, 1 body. Frozen Orbit won't save them either. In that case, they still have to shoot a second bullet from either one of those hand cannon scenarios. Now let's talk about how many times this has saved my ass against a shotgunner. For context, I've actually done over 500 shotgun tests in the past to determine one-hit kill consistencies across all of the archetypes. If we take the Felwinter for example, while ADS'd, you can get a one-hit kill from about 8 meters, and that's measuring with a Darcy by the way, but not every single time. In fact, not that often. At 7 meters though, you can pretty much secure that bag 90% of the time. The reason it's always been a pain to talk about shotgun one-hit kill distances is not because of their damage fall off, it's actually just because of the pellet RNG. Similar to what I said with the fusions, the further you get away with a shotgun, the less chance there is of every pellet hitting them. But once you're inside of 7 meters with an aggressive shotgun like Felwinter's or Astral, you're always going to hit enough pellets to kill them. But that's because those pellets are showing 22s and 23s on screen for damage. When you add resistance to the mix, suddenly they're only showing 16s and 17s. What this means is you need unbelievable pellet RNG in order to still get a one-hit kill. At 7 meters, I couldn't get a single kill with the Felwinters. 6 meters, same deal, 0 out of the 9 tests that I did. 5 meters, doing 16 to 17 damage again, I was finally getting some of that pellet RNG because I'm closer, but even then, it only happened 2 out of my 9 tests. In order to consistently one-hit kill with the Felwinters up against someone with resistance, I had to be within 4 meters or closer, which is basically right up against them. When you go to something like a precision retold tail or a lightweight for example, the damage is so low that you literally can't one-hit kill even if you barrel stuff them. The only way to do it is if all the pellets are crits, which just isn't happening in a real case scenario. For anyone wondering about duality, it behaves like a precision, so it gets totally shut down by the resistance as well, but it does have a slug capability. So for any Shappy lovers out there, your one-hit kill distance only goes down by about a meter because of the sheer amount of damage it does when you hit the headshot. Alright, last up was the fun that we had with Behemoth, because when you're in that super, you can technically put some ice down for some resistance. It negates a lot of the primary in play against you and you can survive a lot longer, but I figured I'd just show you the snipers. Again, my tests are at 5 rezeal because that seems to be the minimum bar that people run now, with 120s being as strong as they are, and Adored can no longer headshot you. Frozen Orbit fortunately still can since it's aggressive, but Rapids now need to hit 2 headshots instead of the regular 1 crit 1 body. Crits are pretty hard to hit on a moving Behemoth, so the real benefit comes with the fact that the body shot damages are much worse. A trick I've been doing lately for my Titan fans out there to conserve some of my super is instead of right clicking to create ice or freeze people, I'll actually just slide and hit melee while in super to freeze them and create some ice at the same time. Oh, and you want to win your melee fight too? It drops that down from 100 to 75, so now it takes 3. Cheers everybody, I'll catch you in my next one.